From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Tuesday's edition of For the People on a June the 27th, 2017. It is certainly a pleasure to be in the control room and getting used to the second hour. And, the cool thing is if you're a talk show host, you kind of know that you always overly prepared just in case, because you don't want to be underly prepared because then you have nothing to talk about. But one of the requirements usually for being a talk show host is being somebody that can constantly come up with items and always have plenty of room just in case you don't even have anything in front of you to be able to just run off at the mouth. And a couple of my friends have told me, well, you have a good level of BS factor too, but I don't want to just bedazzle people with BS every single day. And even though some of the news that we talk about, some of the stuff appears to have the element of that in there, people are looking for more substantive, intelligent conversation, and that's what we try to bring you each and every day. So if you're new to For the People, that is a direction that we try to head most days. And sometimes we get into this, rabbit hole kind of a thing. But we make it back to making some kind of sense. That's the premise. A good dose of common sense. And that is part of, our mantra here at For the People is with all the news and all the places that you can go each and every day to find information, we try to really be a breath of fresh air, and we don't try to overly exaggerate things. We just try to really have a common sense approach to things, along with a nice hot cup of coffee on standby, just in case. You can grab yours, grab something to drink or eat, sit back and relax. And if you're driving, please keep your eyes on the road. That is actually one of our stories that we're going to be talking about, driving cars. We'll talk about that in a minute. But a headline that grabbed my attention because we've been talking a lot about restrooms over the past year and a half or so here. This one's out of New Haven, Connecticut. Yale University, the prestigious Yale University, they're in the news, and they're in the news because they are suing Connecticut. The state of Connecticut, Yale University, over its plan to turn single-user restrooms into gender-neutral bathrooms. Yeah, Yale University wants to go against the state. The New Haven Register, they're reporting this. They report that the state building inspector's office previously denied the school's request for an exemption from the state building code requiring that a certain number of bathrooms in every building be assigned by gender. Now, it ails them. Yale argues that removing the gender-specific signs would increase the number of bathrooms open to either gender. Hear that again. Yale argues that the removing gender-specific signs would increase the number of bathrooms open to either gender. I mean, I see it. That makes sense, perfect sense, and Yale says many of our students, many of them at the law school agree with the university, with some complaining, that many of the existing gender-neutral restrooms are inconveniently located. Now, first of all, if you're really concerned about how people feel or how people are going to view you because you look like a man, but you're going into the woman's room, just the kind of things like that, and you just don't want to be ridiculed, you don't want to feel uncomfortable or anything like that, then why not walk a few more steps to that bathroom that might be in another direction? That's just my thought on this. They don't give any numbers. They don't give any stats. They don't give any statistics about this. But again, it's the slippery slope, ladies and gentlemen. The slippery slope means that you allow for the 2 percentile of homosexuals, transgender, whatever, that they consider themselves to be transgender, gender neutral. Don't call me male because I'm not a male today. I'm a female, or I'm no sex like Miley Cyrus. I'm no sex. I'm nobody. That's what she said. I'm nothing. I'm nobody. Well, honey, let me empty and deplete your bank accounts and really make you into nobody and see how you feel. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. Come on. Wake up, folks. Once you go down it and everybody does it, then it's going to become the norm, and then it's going to be just like everything else, the TV shows, that everybody's doing it, so why not just do it, and then everybody will just have no gender. And, it's like everything, if you listen to the debate, you listen to what people say, it goes, well, why should people be just judged on the merit of what their sex is? Okay. So that's their fight on this. Why can't I just be taken for who I am as an individual? That's it. Nothing on the merits of being a female or a male. Why does it have to come down to gender? And so, from that standpoint and into that fight and that debate, I would sit there and say, I guess you're right about that. But then to try to actually just remove it altogether, but a scientific fact? What's wrong with being a woman? Now, personally, as a male, I like a lady. All right? That's just me. I understand people have other ideas. Maybe this is a religious thing. But I don't think it's just about religion. I think it's much deeper than that. And, folks, I hope to God that this does not become a prevailing conversation of America. I just hope states use common sense and we don't go down the slippery slope of allowing those that don't have that gender to walk into the wrong bathroom, and to people that feel uncomfortable as it is to use the public bathroom. Now, I just want to give a little clarity to this because I have given a little thought into what's taking place here and what it actually said in the story that I said here. Comprehension, big part of this, understanding, because I did read this. Now, what kind of bathrooms are they talking about here? Let's roll back what we have here. The bathrooms, basically single-user restrooms, okay? They're suing Connecticut over its plan to turn single-user restrooms into gender-neutral bathrooms. Yale University suing Connecticut over its plan into gender-neutral bathrooms at a school. They want gender-neutral bathrooms. Okay? New Haven, Connecticut. This is a post from the Associated Press today. Why does it have to be, if it's gender-neutral, where it's male and female, then what's the big deal? Because I've seen those in other places, especially where they can't build a second restroom. It's not such a big deal. Yale's arguing that the removing the gender-specific signs would increase the number of bathrooms open to either gender. They want to be able to do this more, paying in a point. The subtleties of it, folks, is what I'm saying. Look beyond the headline. Think through the headline, what that means to be able to do that more often, where it's more universally accepted, where all bathrooms, because it's an easy fix. So you don't have to build another bathroom or more bathrooms for more people. Just use the bathrooms that are already existing and make them all gender neutral. It's anybody can go in to use the bathroom. It's not a big deal. Everybody can walk in, males and females. I've heard some females saying they have no problem. They got to go to the bathroom. They just walk into a male bathroom. They don't feel anything of it. These are not young girls saying this. But if a lot of states have their ways, a lot of schools and universities have their ways, that will be the status quo. Everybody can go in, they can poo-poo next to a male or a female. You can have your conversation with your classmate, and they can all smell your poo. Yeehaw, because it all smells the same, male or female. To me, I want to use the bathroom, and I want to get out, and I don't have to think about it. And for some males, they probably wouldn't mind a female going into the bathroom. It's just, this is the discussion that we're having. And what I'm saying is, it's sad that this is what we have to talk about these days. But the progressives would like us to all think like Miley Cyrus thinks, that we're really just all the same. There's no difference between males and females. Folks, there's plenty. And if I have to spell it out, well, then maybe you haven't experienced, but there's plenty of difference between the two sexes. And that's not being a bigot or sexist or anything like that, or it has nothing to do with that. I'm all for equality. I've seen women do some amazing things that a man does, and I think to myself, wow, that is absolutely amazing. But the prevailing, folks, is that there are differences noticeably in most females' reproductive organs, and they have different things going on. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I love animals, folks. I have two. Not that I intended to have two, but I do. They're two dogs, and one's a Chihuahua, and one's a Shih Tzu. Now, the Chihuahuas, they can be rambunctious. They'll bark at a big dog. I don't know if they know how small they are, but, man, they have their bark is bigger than their bite. And then the Shih Tzu, this crazy one that I have, nuts. Her name's Aurora. My stepdaughter, she couldn't have the dog in her new apartment. It said it was just a temporary fix. She gave us the crazy dog. And now I can't get rid of him. I can't just throw her out. So I feed her. I have to walk her. But she'll attack a pit bull. She'll attack anything. I mean, you gotta. I had to teach her who's boss. And you have to with dogs. Sometimes you have to take them to school. And if you haven't done that, you need to. Or see some dog whisperer to get your dog under control. Learn how to be the alpha dog, because really you have to be. And they have to understand this. Have your dog under control, especially when you're going out, walking your dog, and there's other dogs out there. This is a sad story out of Montana, as a woman, as the story reads, suffered from fatal injuries after being mauled by two dogs this past Saturday while doing yard work. Mauled by two dogs. Gatling County Sheriff Brian Gookins said yesterday that the 65-year-old Melissa Barnes was doing some yard work on Saturday. It was in the morning, and a resident of West Bozeman, where she was attacked, first by a pit bull, followed by another dog, and that breed of the dog, the second dog, hasn't been confirmed, but pit bull. Barnes, who is an organ donor, was being kept on life support at Billings Hospital pending rabies, a possible test to show that she contracted it, and the dog belonged to a tenant on Barnes' property. The dogs were not current on their vaccinations. The owners who live on Barnes' property violated, code ethic, because they weren't supposed to have the exotic dog. But since this woman looks like she's going to die, she's on life support, they voluntarily euthanized the dogs. And according to the paper, they're reportedly cooperating with authorities. Gookins says that the case is still under investigation and no charges have been filed at this time. One takeaway, immunize your dog. There you go. Yeah, we don't want to be killing your dogs. Even though I want to strangle Aurora occasionally. She's just crazy. She runs around crazy. She barks at every single thing. She's a mess. But at the same token, she gives you lots of kisses. She's very, very sweet. But the thing with Shih Tzus is they have hair. And you have to mow it down. You gotta take them out, and you gotta get a haircut. Man, she looks like an oversized rat right now. I mean, it's unbelievable.